Hello, everyone. Welcome to another little health tidbit here. My name is Veronica Mayer, so glad that you're listening to us. I have a subject, so let's just get started. And I'm going to share my screen here for a couple of pictures. And here's the first one. All right. Sitting is the new smoking. You've heard that phrase before, right? Sounds pretty dramatic, catches your attention. There was a well-designed study and they used wearable sensors. So they weren't just self-reporting, but instead taking a look at these sensors, you could tell exactly how much the person was moving around and how much they were sitting down. And what they found from that is that teenagers spend about 68% of their waking hours sitting. So that's roughly two-thirds of their day. About 8 to 10 hours every day is spent with sedentary behavior. But what happens as we age, right? Because we get pretty smart, we know we need to do better. Does it get better? Well, actually, adults 60 years and over, they tend to sit even more. 80% of their waking day is sitting. Well, gotta ask you this question. What percent of your day do you spend sitting down? Whether you're on the couch like this gentleman is, I mean, he's active, he's doing something, but notice his body is not moving. So whether you're sitting at a desk, maybe you're driving a car or watching TV, but the idea is your whole entire body is inactive. And how does that compare with the picture on the right here, where the human body was meant to move? You see, we were never designed to be sitting for so many hours. We were really designed to move. For centuries, people had to move. They didn't have cars, they had to walk everywhere they went. They say that people used to walk up to 20 miles in a day. Daily chores meant bending, stretching, lifting, scrubbing, carrying, throwing. And they started their daily chores when they got up in the morning and they ended them at the end of the day. You see, for centuries, the human body always moved through very different ranges of motion in order to accomplish the daily tasks that were necessary. Our bodies were not meant to be still, but instead they were meant to move. So, what effect has this change in modern life had on mankind? Well, they have linked the lack of movement to some of these major health risks. And the fact that many people today have such chronic diseases that they have to take daily medications for from right now to the end of their life. Some of these major health risks are heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, depression. And then, two, I was just reading a study that showed that people who sit a lot has been linked to thinning in their brain area that's related to their memory. And so, therefore, we see the beginning of dementia happens. Is there any good news because we all live in this modern environment? Well, they also have found that interrupting your sitting with short movement breaks make a huge difference in your health. Now, why is that? What happens when we sit? Well, let's liken it to water. You see, your body is made up of a lot of water. And what happens if water doesn't move? What happens when water becomes stagnant? Well, you can see the scum that starts to form on the top here, right? And so, likewise, in the human body, when you don't move and the water in your body becomes stagnant, we find that circulation slows down. And with that, now you have less oxygen that's delivered to your cells. With that, now less energy is being produced. And as your muscles become inactive, we know they will over time start to lose their strength, they lose their tone, and also your ability to balance decreases. When you take a look at all these things, we call that normal aging, don't we? Getting older. And not only that, but what we find even at a younger age is that when things are stagnant, that really sets up a place in your body for disease and illness to have a place to grow. And so, although being still is easy, right? You come home, you sit down on the chair, you sit down on the couch, but movement is where life really happens. We are designed to move. Our bodies are incredible. You see, every cell in your body depends on movement, movement of blood, movement of nutrients. We've got hormones and enzymes and proteins in the immune system. We also need that movement to take away the waste and the toxins and to keep things clean. Your muscles will act like pumps to help that circulation and that movement happening. Even a gentle movement of your body will signal your body to function better. So when we talk about movement, I'm not just talking about 30 minutes at the gym. I'm talking about movement of life throughout your day. Think of your body as a flowing stream and not a stagnant pond. So you need to move your body often, move through different ranges of motion, and move gently to keep things moving. And when you do move regularly, even in small ways, that's going to improve your circulation. And when you do that, your body will make more energy. And when you do that, you find that your brain function will sharpen, your mood will lift, and your body stays more resilient as you age. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing more often. Now, there is a in-home device that I have that has really helped me to increase this flow of life that we have, and it's called the Bemer. And what I'd like to do now is I'm going to stop the share of this PowerPoint presentation, and let me pull up this video here that you'll find on YouTube. We'll share that. Here it is. And what this was, a video that was taken at the Institute of Microcirculation. And we can see blood going through the capillary there just a little bit at a time. Isn't that amazing? And now we find the Bemer has been turned on, 2 minutes. And notice if you can see a change in the flow of this. Yeah, we've got things that are moving a lot quicker through these capillary beds. And now here we are 6 minutes into an 8-minute session. And notice the change that we have here. Okay, things are flowing a lot better through there. We've got a rush of movement. And then over here, we even see the immune system has been stimulated. And now 30 minutes later, this is what we have going as far as the flow going, keeping things moving, keeping things circulating. And there you have it. They say that this circulation can occur for the next, 10, 12, 16 hours. So to compare, this was the before, okay? And now here is the after. Now that is quite a comparison for you, isn't it? We're going to stop that share. And now let me get back to my PowerPoint presentation for a couple more pictures here to continue on. Very good. And the next one. There we go. So using the Bemer regularly has really given me more energy. And with that more energy, it's easier to add movement to my everyday life. It's like giving my body that little extra encouragement it needs to do what it's designed to do. So even if you do exercise, once a day, for example, you hit the gym for 30 minutes or you do something at home for a period of time, long stretches of sitting in between your exercise can still impact your health. And so here are some easy ways that you can bring movement into your everyday life. They suggest that you stand up every 30 to 60 minutes. So during the commercial, go ahead and stand up, get off the couch. Can you park a little further away? So rather than trying to get that close parking spot, go ahead and park in the far part of the parking lot and give yourself a little more of a walk. While you're waiting, can you do calf raises, right? Keep those muscles engaged. Take a little 2 to 5 minute walk. Stretch while you're watching TV. Maybe do a few squats while you're about to sit down. So don't just sit down completely, but stand back up again and do 5 squats before you sit down. Keep those muscles engaged and strong. How about doing an upright push-up off the countertop, right? So what we've got here is just little movements that you can do throughout the day, and these little movements add up in a very big way. So you don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just start by moving a little more and moving a little more often, because the truth is your body is always ready to respond. You see, motion is life, and every step you take is a step towards better health. Using the Bemer is a foundational way to boost those activities you add to your life, and also it helps to fill in the gaps when you haven't been able to add them to your life. I love this saying here. Our life, it's not about adding more days to your life, but add more life to your day. And isn't that what we're all looking for?